here today. Tough loss against a very good team. Just got to move forward. And first one we've had during the regular season, so there's no victory meal for our players. And I can tell they're hurting. So we get to hurt for we'll give them till the rest of the day today. Then the coaching staff and players got to move forward and try to get our second win. So I'll answer any questions for you. Yeah, just a little experience here, and we just got a very unique style of defense. First time I've seen that. It was completely, hours upon hours of game planning, including in the spring. We started looking at Virginia Tech, and they just completely played bare zero, which was a high risk defense, but obviously it worked. The coach and that staff and good players. We just got to hit. I think we hit 4 big plays, had a couple PIs and a couple plays in option football, and it still didn't get him out of it. Just had to make more of them, and we will as we continue to grow up.
Is that the only area that?
Well, no, there's plenty of areas that offense, defense, kicking game. That was a really good team we played, and I think we're a really good team. And play here, play there, a field goal here, a field goal there, and a stop. Go on and on and on, and that's what's frustrating. Not taking anything away from Virginia Tech, but a few good plays, and it's a different outcome. And a great stadium, great night. So we just got to rebound and move forward. Everything we're shooting for is playing for championships in November, and that's still right at our disposal. It's not. I mean, we got a heck of a long way to go, but you put your heart and your mind in that of a 19-year-old. Everything's right still there. So, and I see that in their look. They're all hurting. And they'll take our lead and take my lead. And I'm still hurting, so we'll be ready by tonight, get it out of our system, and go.
As you analyze the film, Coach, offensively, what were you most disappointed with?
Just not making it was one-on-one coverage. And I thought we've improved at wide receiver, and we just didn't get open enough. And when we did, we didn't. Either protection flaw. I mean, it was. There was going to be no run. They made a decision to take away the tailbacks, and there was 9 guys within 6 yards of the line of scrimmage. And you have to make someone pay a price and come up with some of those catches. Dontre made a couple, one ridiculous catch where you have to do that. We have to execute, get the ball to them, and protect. So one thing is just the execution of the, when they're going to play zero coverage, you got to make those shots. We haven't had a lot of that.
Digesting the loss after the game was tough at first, but how do you approach when you have such a huge recruiting weekend when you go in there? What do you say to the kids that are there in the room? How is it different from the way you approach?
It was tough. It's a very good question. That's you don't sleep much. You get up in the morning and you get a text saying, okay, breakfast at 9:30, and you got meetings from 9:30 until about 6:30 at night straight through with recruits. That's what I did yesterday. And you got to put the smile on your face and go attack them. The best thing going was the environment. Everyone saw it. I think they also saw opportunities to help our football team, and so it's a grinder. It's much better when you're popping around and when you win. And the demeanor of everyone's, because our players are hurting too, and the campus was hurting. But the feedback's been very good. Yeah. Do I worry about that? Tim explained to him. I worry about everything. Yes. What's that?
That was a big weekend, so do you like to approach the night of differently, or?
The night of.
Like, I don't know if you first then after the game's over, like how do you approach it differently in a situation like this?
When you don't win?
Yeah.
Or, no, we always talk about the high risk. I mean, when I was at Florida, same thing. Do you really want to schedule that, all those official visits? There's such a great atmosphere in our stadium. We risked it last year against Wisconsin and Penn State, the year before against Nebraska, and those turned out the wrong way. I think it's so important to just witness. I mean, that was awesome, the crowd, and I had my headsets on, but I've had comments that's the loudest I've ever heard any stadium. So, and I want to thank our fans for that. Our students were outstanding, and they, it was great. We got to play better. But to answer your question, I don't want to go off. To answer your question, yeah, you are concerned about it. But there's so much to sell here. That's the great time to bring them in.
like any segment of college football fans, there's part of people out there follow the team that when you guys are winning, nobody can beat us, we're invincible, and then when you lose, they're like, oh, we're terrible, the season's lost. Do you have to get any more insular or kind of circle the wagons with the players just to say, look, everything out there that's immaterial, what we're just dealing with here is right in front of us?
Sure. You have to do that when you win as well. I always make the comments, you love to just go move them off to a desert island somewhere and coach your team and not worry about social media, uncles and third uncles. First uncles are okay, third uncles are bad. They're the ones with opinions that have no clue what they're talking about. First uncles are right. But yeah, those are all concerns, and that's one of the cool things about coaching 18, 19, 20-year-olds. That's a challenge that I actually enjoy. And if you have a good relation with the player, which our coaching staff does, it's aware. You just make them aware and have a good conversation about it and move forward.
Back row left, Rob.
Urban, what's the offensive identity you want to create? And is it happening? It seems like there's a little bit.
Well, we had 2 weeks, very unique. We were just talking about that. We haven't run a base offense set yet, really. Against Navy, it was all the 3-4, back and forth game, and that's not really. We haven't faced a 4-3 defense yet, and that's traditional what you're going to see for most of the year. And that's really what most of our base offense is premised on, is 4-3 defense. We have 0 snaps of 4-3 defense. Think about it. We're 2 games into it. So our offensive identity would be last year with a little more balance in throwing the ball, is who we'd like to be. And that's kind of what we're built for schematically. We don't have the Carlos side, but we've got some pretty good backs. Probably we've got a little more perimeter run game than we've had in the past. But it wasn't there yet because they were not going to give it to us in their style of defense. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, but I got a follow-up that's not related. When you were at BG, you're playing Kent State. Obviously, when you're in that situation, you're not thinking you're learning for something that's to come, another job. But looking back, how did BG set the table for you as a coach?
Oh, first of all, I love Bowling Green. We took a team that was really struggling, and our first game, go beat Missouri. I mean, one of the darndest things you've ever seen. It was one of those moments like, I can't believe that just happened. And then I think our record against BCS schools was 4-0 or 5-0, which is remarkable for that group of players. And I still am very close to a lot of them. I think it just sets how to develop a staff. You try things that, that if you did here, it'd be, on every front page of the paper. And I'm glad there weren't, we didn't have the exposure because there was a lot of mistakes made by yours truly and our coaching staff. And mistakes that were all for the, you're trying this. And so it's a great opportunity to go, especially in that conference because you recruit all the same player. That's why I love the MAC conference. You can march out most of them. That team comes out of the locker room, and they all look alike. They're all usually the team with a quarterback wins that conference, and there's been some phenomenal quarterbacks come out of the MAC conference. Really good players too, but they just don't have the depth. But it's a really good coaching league because for the most part, they're all about the same talent-wise.
As disappointing as it was, as upset as you were, is there a part of you as a coach who could see the long view that might think this could be a blessing in disguise if we handle this?
That'll show up tomorrow. No, not yet. It'll show up sometime tomorrow. We start looking at the positives. And I saw a quarterback fight like I got hit too much. And they were called green dog, and they were blitzing the back. And they did a nice job. But I saw there are some positives, but we're still in that hurting mode about just one of the pain and regret is phenomenal. And there's so much regret still about some things we could have did better to win that game. But there are plenty of positives, and we'll address those in great detail tomorrow.
Defense is supposed to be this new look, very aggressive defense. At times it was, at times it didn't look like it. Could you assess the defensive performance?
Average. We didn't pressure as much. We settled down. The first 2 drives are bad. Then we settled down and played some really good defense for about 2.5 quarters. We had 1 bad drive in the second half, but for the most part, very pleased with it. But I want to get to the point at Ohio State where it's shut down, lockdown defense, and let's keep it to 10 points. And I think we can make that happen as we continue to grow this year. There's still some new blood out there playing, and there were far too many, when you meet with our defense coaches, there were far too many mental mistakes. Effort was not an issue. But just, for example, you have it's going to be a sack for a safety in our defensive end, loses contain, and the quarterback scrambles out and they complete a pass. And we had a couple third down, they get them off the field and third downs in the first half. But for a good 2.5+ quarters, it was very good defense. But it's not 4 quarters of great defense. I like the direction we're going. We just need to get there real fast.
Urban, even with the defense that Virginia Tech was playing, you guys have talked about the speed you have on offense. Did you guys do as often try to get the ball to Curtis or Dontre or Jalen, those guys?
No, we did not. No, they kind of took that all away from us. It was forced into a 1-on-1. 9 guys were at the line of scrimmage, so they're not quite ready. Dontre, I think Dontre we did. Not in the run game. We tried a couple times, and everyone's right there. So it was going to be a throw down the field type game. And Dontre made one play down the field. But to answer your question, we did not get to utilize that speed. And until you scare people off you won't get to. I mean, that's the first time I've seen that kind of defense. Maybe my coaching career, where it was, they were all 6 yards. The start of the game, I remember on the headsets, I was like, wow, I've never seen them do that. That's why the second play of the game, we took a shot down the field and almost got it, and then we had a couple PIs. But it was forced into a 1-on-1 game.
I know every team is different. Why wouldn't every defense that you guys face look at that and say, let's try
They
that?
felt good about, I don't want to speak for them, but after watching the films a bunch of times, they felt their matchups at corner were better, and they had a freshman quarterback and new offensive line. And before we get the play started, we're going to be in the backfield. And pretty gutsy, but, I don't know if you do that against last year's team. You'd have to ask their coach. I don't know that. But you have, a veteran offensive line coming back and a veteran quarterback. I'm not saying the outcome would have been. I'm not saying that, but I think the Virginia Tech coaching staff made a gutsy decision and it really did a nice job.
With having a young quarterback and a young line right now, do you think you guys are going to have to prove something on the field, or other defenses will try that same idea?
I don't know if people have the personnel. I know one of them does. The team that won the Big Ten last year does. I don't know if that's risky stuff. Now you hit a couple of those, you get a mismatch somewhere, and they replaced that one corner in the third quarter when we hit a couple plays on them, and the other guy came in pretty good too. So and you can't really do that. The thing that once again down the road, because I'm friends with their coach, we'll be playing next year, so it'll be a while. But I bet that wasn't something you put on a Tuesday and Wednesday. That's been going on for a while.
Urban, you didn't as much as you guys struggled offensively. It was 21-21. I think they took a 28-21 lead. You guys had 14 offensive plays, 6 sacks, 2 picks. After that, what did they do differently? Was it a mentality that they just closed better than you guys did?
Yeah, we didn't do anything differently. That's a tough stat. I didn't notice that one. Last 14 plays, what?
14 plays, 6 sacks, and 2 picks. Up until it was 35-21, a couple seconds off that.
Yeah, they just closed better, and that's something we need to continue to address and play better.
You keep mentioning the one-on-ones. Did receivers most of the time lose battles, or was it a combination?
Combination of both. We won some battles, and then there was pressure. You just don't have much time, and I think that's the one thing about game planning. And you sink your teeth in the Navy, and that's another advantage. We had a team that we had to go. I'm not disrespecting William and Mary, but you can tell what they worked on was completely different. So, if we knew that was coming, you're much more prepared, and you're trying to make sideline adjustments with some young players, and it's really hard. So, we just got to be, we just got to do from now on. You don't want to act like there's hindsight. You just got to be prepared to make some of those shots down the field. You have to complete. It's turned into a complete one-on-one game when you do that.
Urban, you talked about this last week. You would like to see a couple of those guys, like you were just talking about a minute ago, step up and make some plays, establish themselves. Who do you think still has that capability? Maybe in the next.
I'm not giving up on Corey Smith. He dropped a touchdown pass and might have changed the game. And I met with him today, and he's a guy that's has a lot of potential. Basically, you look at his career, and there's a word next to him saying potential. Not a lot of statistics or commanded respect, but he's got a lot of potential. But the way he's changed as a human being, as a football player, we're not giving up on him. I thought Mike Thomas had a career day. He's not played very well. He played very well in that game. I think we got it. Devin Smith played okay. But he was open a few times, just couldn't get it to him. Evan Spencer's got to make a couple plays. So I'm disappointed, but I'm not lost who we can still become. And there's a long time left to go.
In that regard, offensive line, obviously there were times when they blocked him and times when they didn't.
Yeah, but the offensive line, a lot of the pressures you saw were free guys, and that's because of the add-on blitzes. So I think the offensive line was kind of, we block him in a run game, there'd be an extra guy right there. I'm concerned about our offensive line, but Saturday was not a fair assessment. We have to hit one-on-one plays in those kind of situations.
I'm sure in some respect you thought there'd be some growing pains when you replace the offensive line, Carlos, Willie, et cetera, on offense. Has the challenge been greater than you anticipated, or not really?
A little bit greater. I think this one we got exposed a little bit. I was hoping they'd play their traditional 4-3 defense. Man free is kind of what we prepared for, and that's not what they gave us. So we were exposed a little bit. Once again, it's amazing how fragile this game is. You catch that touchdown pass, I know what if all that other stuff, but you make a couple plays, that's a different ball game. So I know we're all sitting here, but that's the fine line of how fragile this whole thing is. So it is. I thought we would be a little further ahead. We were exposed in this game. The skill was, but the skill's going to rebound, and we're going to coach them as hard as we have, and they have to rebound.
Yeah, Coach, no one's really brought up JT. His situation, took a little bit of a physical beating, and mentally, maybe just kind of the guys around him not holding up their end of the bargain to support him. Have you talked to him since the game, and where's his mindset, and how resilient is he after a game like that?
He's that's his best. I think he missed his whole senior year, if I remember right, with an ACL. So he hasn't played a lot of football, and it took him a while to get back and healthy. He wasn't healthy when he first got here. But we recruited him because of, first of all, his ability level. He can see, he can throw, and he runs well enough. But the real, which is probably as important as anything, is the character and the maturity of what kind of human being he is. And so he'll rebound. I have all the confidence in the world. So does our offensive staff. So that's his strength. And so you'll watch a young man that's going to really rebound this weekend.